Financial wellness. Reach out to them for advice at 855-DON-GINO. And now back to your hosts, Don Getling and Gino Franti.
So let's start off with that, considering we have the man, the myth, the legend right here. Mr. Mark Figueroa with SunPower Green Convergence, who has installed mine and Gino's solar on our homes. It's amazing. Not trying to butter. We didn't get paid to do it. In fact, we put poor Mark through the ringer to make sure he was the one. And I actually had, Mark, I had 5 different solar companies in my home and sat down with them and had them present why they are the best solar and why I should be hiring them. And it's amazing the twists that I found in the presentation. Be careful out there, by the way.
A lot of used car salesmen. That's the one thing I don't like about my industry is there's a lot of those kind of tactics.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you, and I'm going to give you some specifics because Mark's going to go into why he's going to get more specific to SunPower. But I'll give you a very example. I had one come in and it sounded great. There, no lease, no cost. We just put solar panels on your roof and you save 30%. I'm like, well, if I don't have to pay for anything and I get a discount of 30%, that sounds pretty good. Now, of course, if I use you, I get a discount. It basically covers all my power needs, but this 30%, I'm like, okay. And then they like go through and I'm like, this just sounds too good to be true. And then I look and then like, and here, and they go through the presentation like, here's a Google Maps picture of your house and here's where the solar panels will be. I'm like, I'm confused. And they're like, why? I'm like, where's my house? It was absolutely, the entire roof was covered in solar panels. 1, there's no way they're getting approved by the HOA for that. 2, I do not want my house looking like freaking it should be in space.
Yeah, the Hubble Space Telescope, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, it was ridiculous. I can't even put Christmas lights up there anymore. So I realized, I'm like, I see. I mean, literally, they're just borrowing my roof is what they're doing. They're giving me a small piece of it, and they're selling the other. And there's so many. I'll go on and on how. And then the other one was really great. This is a tribute that totally sold the deal. So I'm going through. I got your presentation. I got the other company, very well-known company, one of the largest in the nation, because they're a great marketing company. And I looked, and I'm like, wow, Mark, they produce the same as you, and this and that. I go. And Mark presents it, and he says, we need 34 panels. I'm like, okay, why does this other company need 46? He goes, why don't you call him? So I call him up, and I'm like, hey. And the guy was really nice, very nice guy. I could have gone with him in a heartbeat. And I'm like, hey, I'm confused. How come you have to take up a third section of my roof that actually faces the front of my house? Mark, you guys did a great job. It's only the side and the back, and nobody even can see it. And if they do, it's beautiful. It looks like a Porsche up there. And then he's like, who are you going with? We're like, SunPower, Green Conversion. Like, yeah, their solar panels are more efficient than ours. And
Crickets.
It was it.
Oh,
I mean, I'm
hello.
like, all right, thank you for endorsing SunPower. So I just had to tee you out for credibility because I did the homework financially. I did the homework for quality, and your quality is the best. Everything you read about SunPower panels made here are by far the best. They last the longest. Your guarantee is the longest. They redo your roof that has a 50-year guarantee. I mean, it's ridiculous how good your stuff is. All right.
I don't even need to talk. I just let you
I
keep
did
going,
my homework,
man. Wow.
dude. I did my homework. Like, you can't believe. I know we got 2 minutes left of the segment. I owned it.
But I want to pick up on what you said, Steve, earlier in the segment about real estate. That same thing applies to solar. And this is, the sad thing is solar's fairly new. People don't know much about it. And they all think, let's just find the cheapest guy out there. And all the issues you were talking about, we come up with people that went with other companies, and they come and go. It seems like every 6 months there's a new dealer out there that we're competing against that's just selling on price. How cheap can we sell it? And then we get the phone calls a year or so later, and the sad stories. We're here. We live here, raised our families here. We're a brick and mortar. You can come into our beautiful design center and see a solar panel and see all the things we do. We're not going anywhere. We're a good-sized company, about 60 employees, but we're family-owned, so we make decisions long-term. My partner and I have 30-plus years in construction. We're actually contractors.
See, I love that part.
Roofing, electrical, general contractors.
What better is that?
Yeah. I mean, two issues with solar. One, you don't want it to leak, and then you want it wired right, so it's, we got high voltage.
Is that important?
Yeah, but,
and facing the sun might help.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve.
You'd be amazed. And you go to the contractor's license board and you look at the owner, doesn't have a license, and he's had 3 different contractors working for him so he can be in business. And this guy did it a year ago, 6 months.
I
And-
love your statement that you had. What'd you call your competition? Chucking a truck?
Oh, I wasn't going to do that on the air.
I can.
I try not to disparage.
No, this is why we've been on the air for over 5 years. We tell it like it is, and we've all seen that. You see the trucks going around, they're trying to sell it, but you got chucking a truck instead of a reputable. And we talked about that, why you won't work with local, escrow companies and lending companies and real estate companies, the people that are accountable. It's amazing how accountable you have to be to Santa Clarita
Sure.
too to survive.
It's a small town. It's getting bigger, but it's still small town.
Yes.
And have a company that has relationships with everybody at the city, the building and safety, planning department, fire departments. It makes a difference because from time to time you got a difficult situation, and to Steve's point earlier. You don't want somebody that doesn't know the community, doesn't know anybody, doesn't know where to go to get a situation resolved.
And that alone is important, imperative.
Sure.
I got a story for you when we come back from our next break to a little share that the listeners should know about.
Okay.
All right.
Definitely.
All right. So again, you can see that there's a huge difference in what solar company you choose, and we're going to go into details of why SunPower is one. This is not a commercial. This is to benefit you. I swear to you, this will benefit you because I did all the homework and I have SunPower on my roof, and I'm so glad. My bill, by the way, this month $1. Yeah.
And again, I'm
baby.
sorry about that dollar.
Yeah. Last week
I'll
was
give you
high.
that dollar.
Last week was $8. It used to be minimum $500, so it's all good stuff. So we have, again, Mark Figueroa with SunPower Green Convergence, Steve Korn with New Hall Escrow. We're going to share with you what you need to know about SunPower Solar that'll benefit you or someone you know. When we come back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show, don't go away.